You're listening to 99&Kato, the writer's experience, exploring the art and craft of writing one page at a time. Join your host 99&Kato as they dive deep into the crevice minds of writers of all kinds. Whether you're an inspiring wordsmith, a seasoned word slinger, or a lifelong fan, this podcast is your backstage pass to the writer's realm. On your flip side. Ahoy there.
What's up?
Welcome to 99&Kato, the Writer's Experience podcast, where we explore the art and craft of writing one page at a time. I'm your co-host, Kato, and this other lovely young lady right here is your co-host, 99.
One time for your mind, what's up?
One time for your cotton picking mind. And the topic for our show today is basically longevity in the craft. We're talking longevity of the craft. 99, how you doing this time?
I'm doing real good, and our guest this time is Priest Da Nomad, one of the pioneers of DMV Hip Hop and the re-emergence of the famous U Street art scene in the 1990s. Priest has also been a member of the legendary Freestyle Union, elevating the art of improvisational rhyme. He's been a cast member of the hip hop theater play Rhyme Deferred and the subject of a book called Hip Hop as Performance and Ritual by Dr. William E. Smith. Priest has appeared in numerous publications over the years and is currently Wammie Awards 2023 Hip Hop Artist of the Year. Check this out, right?
Yo, and if you down with me, Cypher, yeah, come on and down with me, yeah, and if you're down with me, this is how we do it, freestyle, represent DC. Look here, thank you for grabbing up this 95 interstate, the rappers out of control show, time to elevate, DJ Eclipse over the sun, hey yo, what up, Riz, 50th anniversary of hip hop, so there it is, yeah, DC, we never get down, yo, we fuck up, fuck down, but we don't fuck around, like a bitch with a curved dick, my verb slick, we send us instructions together, nigga, my word said, hey yo, rapper step to me, I got them drowning in quicksand, they was hot in the club, now I'm snatching they wristbands, all up in they sinuses, wrist stand, niggas run they mouth, now I got they teeth leaning on kickstands, that's the, my verse stay weapon, my style like James Baldwin meets James Evans, intelligent hood, and I'm good anywhere I go, keep a head on the swivel and stay low, my tongue touch the gospel, to touch the people, I'm from DC, where they pack tools like Home Depot, I'm in that out with electrical wiring. Y'all stay admiring the way I'm inspiring. No, I'm not a tyrant. After I run through your crew, I can take them to Subway. They hiring. I keep a tender rock.
Yeah.
Oh, I was in it.
What's up, y'all?
What's up?
I was bobbing my head on that one.
This one over here like this. You I forgot. All right, we can watch that anytime.
What's up, Priest?
Hey, what's up, y'all, man? Peace. 99&Kato. Kato the legend. Yes, definitely.
It's so good to talk to you. I mean, I've been watching all the stuff you've been doing, all the clips and everything. And I had other questions before I start, but I totally forgot that you have a documentary coming up. So can I start off with that? Because that's like mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I celebrated 30 years of contributing to DMV Hip Hop in 2022. Got my start 92 in the clubs, the Ritz, the Kilimanjaro, all those spots, man. And you know, it kind of went with my Receipts album, and you know, I think it was hip hop is generational now. You know what I'm saying? Right. And our DMV hip hop story is not really told in certain ways. And the U Street story, a lot of U Street stuff is really not told, right? Which is the scene that I kind of came up on a lot and represent outside the clubs. So yeah, man, I'm connected to a lot of folks, a lot of prominent folks. A lot of people, man, got their bones in DC, man. A lot of people got they, you know, they doing national and great things, man. And we're all connected. A lot of people don't know that history through U Street and stuff like that. So I use kind of my story, my 30-year story to show, to kind of give a lens of what it was like or what it is like coming up in this culture in a city that's known for go-go, right? And in a city that's unlike any other area in the world, you know what I'm saying? Black prominence, like, you know what I'm saying, the black empowerment, how we are in DC and DMV, man, how we don't take nothing from nobody, you know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of giving the back, just like a DC cultural history piece through my story. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. You good over there? Okay. Okay. So basically, you and this thing we're talking about the literary aspect of the arts that we do, and basically you say you've been in this for 30 years, so you've been literally writing for 30 years or even longer than that.
Oh yeah, man. I've been writing since I was, 12, 13, for real. I was born in Northeast Brentwood area. My grandfather had a house on 13th Street off Brentwood in Saratoga. I moved to Riggs Park, and then I moved all the way out to Beltsville, Maryland, man. That's kind of where I spent my middle school and high school years. You know what I'm saying? A lot. And shout out to High Point High School out there. And me, Raheem Devon, a whole bunch of people went to the same school and everything. So yeah, man, it was just, I was one of the weirdos, as I say, like, in the hip hop. I went to go-go's and stuff as well, you know what I'm saying? A lot of cats, a couple cats was out where we was at. My man Heartbeat and them was out our way, you know what I'm saying? Hard Bottom and Central Groove and all that back then. Yeah. So we still hit them things, but I was just in love with hip hop, man, the culture. And it was only a few cats, so yeah.
Let me ask you, I would just follow up on that. You just put my attention with the whole thing of, and I remember, we talking that era, and there was so many people on go-go. I mean, go-go was really thriving, and it was basically, in a sense, somewhat new then, only several years old at the time. But you did have that handful of people that were, let me just say, I knew popular hip-hop songs, right? From hip-hop acts coming from, up north, New York. But I was strictly hardcore go-go. So a lot of the songs we learned because maybe a band played on it or artists performed with a band. But there were a few people of my friends who were heavy in the hip-hop thing like you were doing. How did that feel kind of going against the grain in the area that you were in, you think?
Well, Kato, is funny because in the 80s it was really real closely aligned. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to remember, of course, you know what I'm saying, when go-go first time, you had Trouble Funk, and hip hop was sampling a lot of go-go. They was doing Trouble Funk. They was collabing. Remember Curtis Blow, We Chillin'. Yeah. Curtis Blow, We Chillin' with Trouble Funk. EU. There was a lot of collabs. And then, of course, one of the things we talk about in our DMV contributions to hip hop is that a lot of the original hip hop breaks came from DC funk bands, even before go-go. You know what I'm saying? It came from, Soul Searchers when it was Los Sopranos. It came from the Skull Snaps. It came from a lot of like popular hit, and a lot of the New York DJs flashing them. They didn't even know a lot of the stuff was DC. They later discovered once they did that these were DC groups. And this is, pre-go-go. And then when go-go hit, it was like they was using Drop the Bomb. They was using a whole lot. So in the 80s, it was a lot of, and then, that's when, when Essence and all them was doing Go-Go Live and Cap Center. You had all of Dougie and them was coming down here. They was rocking with them. So it was a lot of meshing. And one of the things I talk about in so it was love, but one of the things I talk about in my doc is how things went awry on the streets with the street culture of the hustlers in the 90s. So when the New York dudes was coming down here in the 90s, doing the street thing, and especially when Rayful Edmond got locked up, you know what I'm saying, and all that, Alpo and them coming down here and all that, there was a lot of beef and things went crazy between New York and DC, and a lot of dudes was getting murdered. So I was catching a lot of that backlash. I think, come to find out now, because the whole attitude had changed to hip hop, because hip hop was looked at as New York stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was love in the 80s, but when things went awry in the neighborhoods and the streets, you know what I'm saying? Me and Shot Rock talked about that on because her and my man Timothée and Bowie State got a class and with her and everything. So, and the guy who did the book that I'm a subject of, he's a tenured professor there as well. So we did that class, and I mentioned it, and she was like, "Dang, Priest, you right." You know, a lot of people hadn't put that together, but I was catching a lot of flack here for representing hip hop. I was trying to represent our area, right, just through the culture. But they were saying, "Oh, you doing that rap stuff, man? Oh, you that's that Bama New York stuff, man. We don't get down with that type of thing." And I think it was because of what was happening on the streets, and it bled into the industry as well. CeeLo talked about that. He's on the dock as well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's kind of when the 90s is when I started getting it. And then inversely, I would go up New York and battle with Rhymes, and then I was swinging with Biz then. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it was like when I go up there, it was like Cass was fighting.
Did you get flack from them when you went up there?
Yeah. I mean, it was like, "Oh, yo, you nice." It was like, "Oh, you nice." But then they, but if you be in a crowd, I remember doing I think one of the first lyricist lounges in Flatbush, and they just put me on. Monty, who was manager Biz at the time, put me on the list, and he was like, "Yo, you go rhyme." They was like, "Yeah, Priest from DC." Boo, boo, and I literally, one of the reasons why my voice got so strong because I was just used to rhyming my way out of booze, and I would just rhyme and freestyle on dudes, and they was like, "Oh, Slim, he nice, son." And they would give me all that. He nice and all that. They wouldn't, it would still be like, all right, whatever. But it was like, yeah, dude is nice. So, but then, you come back home and it's like, oh man, nobody paying attention to that. You know what I'm saying? So it was it was a big difference in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? And even when hip hop started coming out, it wasn't New York hip hop. It was like Scarface, Devin the Dude, Pop. You know what I'm saying? It was the down south type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there was kind of like a whatever to
What would you say about the relationship today? Now that hip hop didn't made noise in Atlanta, down south, and out west, and everywhere else.
Yeah, I think there's a more openness because everybody's doing it now. You know what I'm saying? Right. The youngers, they don't have the history that we grew up with, and they don't know what those times were. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you can't even tell a lot of artists now because a lot of New York dudes sounded like down south. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like they all trapping, they doing whatever. So, and then the real underground dudes is like they just on their time. You know what I'm saying? The one thing about us is that we don't sweat outsiders, right? So it's like if you do something and you effective here, then you can you get some love. I had to make sure. It took me a long time to get into a space where I could do things to affect other people here in the different arenas outside of U Street and all that. It took time, you know what I'm saying, for that to happen because like Stinky Dink say, like if you wasn't jumping on stage with a band, you know what I'm saying, you wasn't relevant back then.
So can I ask you, how did freestyling though kind of build that up? Because hearing like just the term Freestyle Union and then seeing that clip and you being known for that, would you say that was something that helped you gain that kind of respect?
Absolutely. Craft wise, improvisation, man, which is what the book is about, like the links to improvisational jazz and hip hop, how it is just it's a language, it's a whole different language, a subset, so to speak, of different language, man. So what we did with the union, shout out to Tony Blackman, who was the founder of the union, and one of the things we did was just take a lot of exercises that she had in her speech class, impromptu speech class, and we applied them to rhyming. So doing alliteration, doing debates, doing these really elevated exercises where you couldn't write rhymes, like you couldn't come in with written rhymes. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And what it did was it helped build your craft, and then you got into these performance spaces, and we incorporated it into our shows. You know what I'm saying? So we would do things, we would rock over all types of stuff, jazz breaks, go-go breaks, hip-hop breaks, whatever. and then you you improvisation. We getting words from the crowd. We doing stuff, and I don't care who you are. That's entertaining.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Mhm.
that piece was like, oh wow, Slim cool with that thing, man. And then me still being, I just wasn't on the U Street scene because I was still in the clubs. I was still going down the chapter. I was still going down the Morocco. You know what I'm saying? When it became I was part of House Nation too. You know what I'm saying? Which was a dance crew. We used to have Friday nights at the chapter. So by me being on different scenes, and I would go give dudes down there my flyers to shows on U Street. And a lot of them the Southeast dudes, like, man, we ain't coming up there, man. We can't mess with Uptown like that. It was that type of thing. But some of them would come out, you know what I'm saying? And then and they would just get to know, like, okay, Slim about that thing, because I was a dancer as well. So I think I think it's like when you take seriously what you do and you still represent where you from. I think it's a respect in that, no, regardless of I might not be on that, but Slim is nice with it, and he representing his way. I think eventually that became the thing. So
Okay.
So, go ahead, Kato.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, I noticed even your emails and your social media posts are well written. So is that something that you always had? Like, were you always a good writer in school, or is it stuff like all those exercises you did that strengthened that over time? How important is that to you? Some people can rhyme, you can freestyle, but they can't read well. You know what I mean? And I see you writing well across just different things that you do.
Yeah, I was always like, English was my subject in school.
Okay.
So English, writing, I read a lot. And then I went to school for a year in Hampton. It's funny because I went to school at Hampton, but I got a closer relationship with Howard Peoples. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because I spanned multiple generations of doing art stuff, even on campus at Howard. So, but I was a journalism major. And even I went for a year, I was already getting into I went to school for journal. I actually went to school with a Demu.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we were in the same dorm. So, it was like we both were talking, getting to school of mass media there, and I was getting on the journalism, and yeah, I mean, just really writing rhymes, and then eventually writing songs, improving on songwriting, evolving from a lyricist to a songwriter. Mm-hmm. It took a while for me to evolve with that and to understand. It wasn't until I became an engineer, actually, that I became a better songwriter, because I understood production, understood the process a lot better. So yeah, but the fundamentals was always there. I love to write.
Hey, can you describe your writing style?
Well, I think the way that I write, especially rhymes, is very conversational. Okay. So if you hear my rhymes, it's like it's evolved into that. I think simplicity is more. There's a power in simplicity, but full of double and triple entendres type of thing, where things have double and triple meanings and stuff that'll make you think, right? I got, and that's kind of like the craft of wordplay. You know what I'm saying? And it's just about doing things. Is, I think, the beautiful thing for me about writing, especially songs now, it's like digging deep into rhythm and being complex in a sense, but also being accessible. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I always want to be accessible. I don't want to be so over somebody's heads that you know what I'm saying? That's like, I don't want to go preach where, to the choir. Mm-hmm. I want people that really need that message to get it and understand it and have it be on the level of their understanding, but at the same time, not dumb down what I'm saying, but but just make it accessible. You know what I'm saying? Like this, for instance, I got a remake with DJ Kool for His Music Ain't Loud Enough joint that's on my Receipts album. And one of the signature lines I say in that, he does his he does his call. And I say, I'm with you. That's the motherfucking DC bat signal. I said, no, I hear you. That's the motherfucking DC bat signal. We with you. And when I say DC bat signal, it's a double entendre because I mean DC as the city, like Batman. I'm sorry, DC as the city with the bat signal like Gotham, but I also mean DC because Batman is a DC comic. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I mean, the wordplay type of thing. So it's like, but that's not, if you can get it, it's a fly line regardless. But if you can really get the deeper meaning, if you can get the deeper meaning of it, then it's like, okay.
Can I show that clip right quick?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Show that right quick.
Excuse me, health inspector? Yeah, I hear there's some funny business going on in here. No, I'm here now. I'll call you back. All right, hold on.
So I'm Tracy.
Hi, nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Mike. I'm the health inspector. Yeah, I need to go in there and take a look.
I mean, we don't have no funny business going on.
I'll be the one to determine if you got some funny. Yeah, I'm here. I'll call you back.
I would definitely let you inside.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. It's very, thank you. You're doing the right thing. Thank you.
I am the legendary DJ Cool. Woo! What's up for my man Priest Da Nomad? Hey yo, Priest, it's time to remix one of my classics. I said the music ain't loud enough.
Pump up the volume.
Turn it up, come on.
Pump the
I said the
volume.
music ain't loud enough.
Pump up the volume.
Louder.
Pump up the
I said the
volume.
music ain't loud enough.
Pump the
Turn it
volume.
up, come on.
You just love a bit.
I said the music ain't loud
Yeah,
enough.
sound good. The
Hey yo,
volume.
Priest, where you at?
Listen, from the bowels of slave ships, poetry raised the fists. In DC, they slice niggas, give them lines like Kate Swiss. I emerged from that rubble with good trouble. John Lewis, we fluid. Now we travel amongst the stars like Hubble. Pump bass through the Alpine, that EQ prejudice. Very thump below 100 hertz, keeping me relevant. Priest Da Nomad's the name. Hit your city like acid rain in June. When you hear it, nigga,
Pump up the
y'all
volume.
Bama's cheese, screwing each other over for the rap race. DJ Cool rock stadiums, y'all scratching in cafes. We true to the nucleus of hip hop, we own it. So if you hear a wiki, bitch nigga, jam on it. Yeah, we know. On the track team demo, so much weed on them, we had the camouflage in a green rental. Through that sunbeam window, they watching me with this thing. Man, I pump that shit louder, make them say my name. Nigga, come on.
Pump up the volume.
Come on.
Pump the volume.
Yeah.
Music ain't loud enough.
Pump up the volume.
DMV, where you at?
The music ain't loud enough.
Pump the volume. Pump up the volume.
Music ain't loud
It's an
enough.
anthem.
Pump the volume.
Yeah, for so many years, see none of y'all promoters was getting with me. Now my composition book, slaying niggas like Mississippi. Now y'all eating crow like Jim. Your whole life spins. That lady singing the shooter, so that hoe can't win. We locked into the game plan. My third eye vision reflect off the sun like some Ray-Bans. Y'all know the culture is safe hands. All state, nah, that's the good hands. We the new brand. Verse classic, etched in your memory like some new brand. Cool, where you at? Slim, I get you. That's the motherfucking DC bat signal. We with you. DMV want the smoke, Slim. Y'all know how we get down from the city where they pack 4 pounds and flip your chest muscles upside down. That's what we pack the fire for. That's my mind.
It is.
DMV want the smoke, Slim.
That young funky, I funked it up.
It get better every time I hear it, though.
Appreciate it.
I got a question though. I mean, that of course when you were like telling everybody about it on social media, talking about this legendary collaboration and kind of a celebration of how long you've been doing this. I want to know, like, what kind of pressures are you feeling right now as a writer, you know, as far as writing your style and everything, and how have those pressures changed since you started?
Actually, I feel no pressure right now.
Okay.
This is probably the freest that I've ever been. And I literally, it's because of experience and age and, you know, applied experience or wisdom. You know what I'm saying? I think when you first start off and I think a lot of disciplines, but definitely hip hop, because it's so competitive, right? You want to be the nicest dude. You know what I'm saying? You want to slay all the rappers, you want to diss and you want to that. And that was definitely when I first started and part of the Freestyle U era, because we were working on our crafts. We were trying to get, and we had a lot to prove, you know what I'm saying? Being from here, always being in the mix with, you know, a lot of New York dudes and everything like that, man. We wanted to show, and I had that chip on my shoulder. I still do. But the only thing is that now I have a legacy and I have history. So, and I position myself to not have to rely on this for money. So I actually, you know what I'm saying? I actually put myself in a situation that, yeah, we monetize things, but I don't need it. So I'm free, right? So I literally can explore. I can do whatever I want to do. Like the industry has caught up to my way of thinking. I always moved independently. You know what I'm saying? I'm always moved outside the industry. I always represented the culture. That's why I got the Nomad on the name, because I'm an outsider. I'm always outside of the fray. You know, and I always told guys, I was like, when technology catches, when we're able to get the music to the people,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's a rap in a traditional sense. Now, they all gonna make their money. You know what I'm saying? A system of white supremacy is set up for them to all do what they do. But it's like, look, I can get my stuff straight to the people. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a power and a freedom in that. And you know, your tribe will find you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the thing, the freedom that I have. And we can reach across the world with art now. So, yeah, so that helps a lot.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any writing rituals? We're expecting, like, you know, writers, even if they're not necessarily people who are hip hop writers, but writers of all kinds who have different rituals and want to know, you know, what kind of stuff do you do to prepare, and have those things changed over the years?
My ritual is freestyling, actually.
Okay.
Because, you know, with freestyling, it sparks ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I could freestyle something and then, oh, that's a hot line. You know what I'm saying? I might keep that. You know, I might keep, oh, you know what? I should do a song about that. You know, it'll
Mm-hmm.
spark different ideas when you're experimenting with improvisation. A lot of times I'm freestyling when I'm driving down the car, I'm driving down the Parkway, 295, whatever, going to
Okay.
work. I'm working out. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Okay.
playing beats. I'm working out. I'm rhyming between the lines, like what's the traffic flow between the lines. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get deep and do certain things or whatever, and just to keep my brain in the place of exploration. And
Mm-hmm.
I think being in a place of exploration, and then I'm also listening to a lot of old music. I listen to a lot of things, and then I just try to read as
Mm-hmm.
well. I don't get to read nowadays as much as I would like to, but I really try to. I'm always reading news and stuff like that. I'm talking about, you know, books that I want to read. But yeah, I think it's just information, and I think just always learning, always seeking information, always feeling like I'm a student.
Mm-hmm.
And I never stopped being a student, you know what I'm saying? And I see the value in so much. So because I carry it like that, I always have ideas. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's all part of my writing process.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to go with this question. You know, hopefully I'm jumping ahead a little bit, 99. But I'm
Right.
curious about this. Where basically it doesn't feel like today's younger people are putting in the same effort in their rap writing. Do you think that is true, or is that only reflecting what is put into the mainstream? Would you say?
I think both, right? So I think that we know that the industry has had a target on, well, that's part of a bigger system, right? That's had a target on anything black and progressive.
Mm-hmm.
And when hip hop really started being progressive, from the days of the Native Tongues and Boogie Down Productions and Latifah and all of that, when that whole late '80s conscious era hip hop really, really scared, you know, the system, right? And one of the conscious decisions, especially when NWA and all was discovered, was to elevate the gangster rap thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because once Public Enemy started being with Anthrax, right, and you
Right.
had a bunch of white kids talk about fight the power and all the stuff that they were talking about and really listening to a group like that really rang the alarm. And ever since then, it's just been iterations of, okay, we want to make this type of thing mainstream, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so it's like a cycle. So they're putting all the resources and money behind the negative, the stuff that's degrading or whatever, and then it's, the black women and all. It's like they're putting all the money behind it. So before it was there, but it was a balance, right? For every NWA or Onyx or somebody like that, you heard of De La Soul, you heard of Poor Righteous Teachers, you heard of, you know what I'm saying? Just Kwame, like just things that were just different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone had their different lanes. It was a balance, but there's no balance anymore. So what happens is that the youngins see, oh, this is the thing, and that's all they're seeing, right? Mm-hmm. So unless you're doing some digging or unless you kind of get on a visible in some way, you become a Kendrick or you become a J. Cole, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Corday, you know what I'm saying? If you become something like someone on that lane, and you happen to do something to get their attention, then it's like, oh, okay, cool. But it's dominated by Sexy Reds and, Ice Spices and stuff like that because that's on purpose. Mm-hmm. It's on purpose. And I think the thing for me here is, there's like 4 generations of U Street. Since the resurgence of U Street after the riots, like the 90s U Street, right? Okay, I'm not talking original Black Broadway with, Ella and Cab Calloway and Duke Ellington and all them. I'm talking since the resurgence of my time and the arts coming back into U Street, there's, been 4 generations, and Fat Trell and them being the later generations and stuff. So our thing is that we got to get it's our responsibility. It's one of my responsibility as an elder, right? To make sure I'm reaching out across these boundaries and making sure the youngest know this history. So, shout out to Nonchalant, man. Non has a record pool event, RPM. She plays a lot of young artist stuff. She has a lot of that's an environment where we can come mix with the young artists and they can see us and stuff. And then
that's cool.
Yeah, man, it's funny because when they see us, they won't know, someone won't know who I am, but then I'll perform or do something and they'll be like, oh, because they don't see, I'm 51 and they don't see dudes with my type of energy.
Right.
Period.
Or skill. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you're leading into my next question as to how ageism is played in hip hop today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's just linked to that. So it's funny because my way of dealing with that is just, I'm not even gonna go into history. I introduce myself. What's up, Slim? All right, blah blah blah. Respect. I'm Priest, man. Priest Da Nomad. Blah blah blah. And then I'll just play or do what I'm doing now, right? Mm-hmm. Because I'm making the best music I've ever made now. You know what I'm saying? So you'll just hear what I'm doing now. And what happens is they're like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn. And then what they do is start asking questions. And then, the elder people are like, oh, you don't know who that is? Oh, no, nah, that's OG. That's da-da-da-da. And then they wind up having more respect for me because I ain't come at them like that. Right? I didn't come at them like, yeah, little youngin', you should know. You don't know who I am. Like the old curmudgeon. I don't come old curmudgeon style. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a turnoff. It was a turnoff when I was a youngin'. You know what I'm saying? So what I do is just be like, yeah, what's up, Slim? All right, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll feel my energy. And then when we get busy and when I rhyme, you're gonna ask some questions when I rhyme, Slim. You know what I'm saying? And then that's an opportunity while you open to be like, oh yeah, well, I did this, blah, 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 and that type of thing. And then they'll start asking questions, and it's a rabbit hole. Once you start researching, then it's a rabbit hole. Like, dang, 30 years, okay, and that's kind of how I deal with that. And it's just like, and what our city is. One of the things that's a negative, mostly a negative, but sometimes a positive too, is that we get hooked on things that's shiny, right? In DC. We like shiny stuff. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, if you can take anything and just wrap it up in a shiny package and get attention, you know what I'm saying, in this area. So I could take the medicine and put it in the applesauce. You know what I'm saying? And wrap it up in a package. And so we work on things and penetrating gatekeepers and trying to, get into these spaces, where we're elevated and more visible. And then you see certain things. And that, the documentary is a part of that as well, because, you'll see people like, you'll see one of the things I really want to do with the documentary was show how so many arenas are linked together. I got, Course Cool, I got Stinky Dink, I got Cal from Essence, that's on that side. Then I got U Street Cats, I got my man Kokai, Ta-Nehisi Coates is on it, you know what I'm saying? My homegirl Camilla Forbes, who runs the Apollo Theater, she's on it. That's hip hop theater, that's Rhyme Deferred, Chadwick Boseman and all that. You know what I'm saying? Then I got Delia Gonzalez from Channel 9, Gemini, like different, and like how all these people connected, right? Through this arena and touching all these scenes and saying and showing you this is only in place. This is like the attraction of the nation's capital, right? To people to come here has led to all of this stuff happening, prominent people, you know what I'm saying? And just showing how special we are in a different way, in a different light. Because we all know about go-go. We know about a lot, you know what I'm saying? But it's okay, there's a lot of other things that we are rich in this area, man, that we, you know what I'm saying? And people growing, that they don't get represented. And so that's why one of the things is, okay, yeah, we were the weirdos. Embrace that. Embrace being a weirdo. Because that means you're an independent thinker. You think on your own. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of been my mantra.
Okay.
I got a question about going back to your craft. How do you decide, you freestyle, inspires you to write a rhyme, you putting together a project like your latest album or any of the other ones. How are you choosing what goes on the album? How do you know what to leave off the album?
Good question. I'm music first. So a lot of times I just get beats from beat makers and producers in their own rights. I differentiate the term between beat maker and producer. A lot of the people that I deal with are producers in their own right, producing projects and stuff, but they also write, meaning make beats and stuff. So I'll get beats from different cats, just different styles. I kind of know a lot of dudes' styles of beats, and some people just can go across multiple styles. But I get the music first, and I let the music inspire, right? And a lot of times when I start making projects, I don't necessarily set out to make a project. I let the project evolve to what it is. Like when I made the Manhood project, it was kind of a thing where I had those records, and there was a lot of stuff going on at the time. You're talking, I was seeing in like between 2014, 15 up to 2019. It took me like 4 or 5 years to make that project. I was seeing a lot of stuff, the imagery of Black men, right? It was either we was the thugs, we were feminized really hard, and if you weren't that, then you were toxic. Then it was like, it was so many things. But I wasn't seeing traditional Black families. I wasn't seeing. And then what happened when my daughter started asking about it, like, Dad, we don't never see people like you on, TV, like, in these commercials and stuff like that. And so it's like, so I started, was doing songs, and these songs started evolving into, okay, well, this is my experience as a Black boy growing up as a Black man in this country and in this area, right? And then it evolved into that project. Same thing with Receipts. I just thought it was a time for audit, right? I was seeing a lot of things on social media, and really there was a documentary of there's a DMV Hip Hop documentary that's supposed to have been done. They've been working on that thing for a number of years. But at first they didn't contact me, right? And I think at first it was like, and that's kind of how the idea for the documentary came up, because it was like, it was like they would contact all these people. It was all these youngins, all these. And I'm just like, and people, I think I got tagged like 4 or 5 times. He was like, yo, you need to talk to Priest. Oh, yo, you need to talk to Priest. But nobody would reach out to me at first, And so, I was just like, okay. And I was digging down the basement one day and I started finding all the articles. I started finding the Washington Post, the city papers, the rap pages, Source, Sister to Sister. I was finding all these things and I just put them all out on the table and I just took a picture. It was just like, and I ain't saying, I just said receipts.
Yeah, I thought that was real.
I just said receipts. And that's winds up me having the idea for the cover of the album. I literally went to a grocery store and and put all my stuff on a conveyor belt and had my man.
I thought that was so clever that I'm like, damn, I wish I'd have thought of that.
But you see, like things just happen natural. Just happen. You just gotta pay attention, right? Yeah. So because that whole thing was up, and I kept seeing the top DMV rapper lists and all that type of stuff, and and it's it's cool. But that's one of the things I say. You only been past your block, right? It's like if you from Surgeon Quarters, nigga, everything between North Capitol and N and First, all that is the hottest shit you've ever seen, right? You don't know nothing. Like that's it. It's like the dude on the block on that end. Oh man, it's the hottest dude out, right? If you from Uptown, if you from Gerard or whatever, like that's the hottest dude in the whole world, right? You only know what your experience is, right? So and it's like, but we traveled all over the city. You know what I'm saying? So on all different types of arenas. And I tell cats, I said, well, just because you don't know about the Corcoran doesn't mean it doesn't exist, bro.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so the thing is just like, okay, let's show a different side. Not on some old, y'all whack, you don't know about, I'm coming humbly, right? I'm coming humbly, but just understand, like, look, there's other things. Let me show you something else by just doing it. I'm not going to soapbox it. I'm just going to do it. And in doing it, you'll see it, right? And that's kind of my approach to everything. Like, just do it. Just, and don't talk me to death about it, Slim. Just do it. And then it'll have its own energy, man, its own vibrations. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's happened. That's how the album concept came. I said, I was doing songs. I said, you know what? I'm gonna just call it Receipts and just talk about, the journey, and things that I've been through and all that. And then the documentary, same thing.
That's one thing about that I could say, coming up about DC or just the DMV as a whole, man. There's just a plethora amount of talent when it comes to the arts. And it actually always have been. I mean, you can go back to, it's just like you said, when the hip hop was grabbing some of those music from the older groups, like the Young Senators and all that, and the Chuck Brown beat, the joint is written by Lloyd Pinchback, Ashley Roach clip joint.
Yep.
I mean, it goes.
It's a new day. It's a new day, right?
Right.
Actually, no. Yeah.
I mean, with that does that play a part in the fact that you've been surrounded by? Who are some of your influences? I'm gonna say from the area. I'm gonna say because I know it's probably bigger than the area.
Man, from the area, it was definitely cool. Because he's the first. I really heard from that. Look, and hearing. I don't know if you remember when Frank Ski was here and he had the Breakers Delight show. Yeah. Did you remember that? It was like on AM. I think it was like WEBB or something like that. But he had that was it was a Baltimore joint, right?
Yeah.
But we could barely get it. That's when I moved out to Beltsville. You know what I'm saying? And we could barely get that joint, right? But I remember being glued every Saturday at 6 p.m. And what happened was I started finding out about dudes who they had. My man Sub Z was on there as a group called Dynamically Fresh way back. And they did a little video thing, a little like on the Capitol. And the Capitol said that they was dynamically fresh. They was beatboxing and everything. So I was like, yo, and I knew about, and I saw it, I was like, man, they from here. I was like, they from here, you know, whatever, like, you know, and then I would go down F Street and I would see B-boys. They had a cardboard on F Street, you know what I'm saying? Downtown, I would see the breakers down there. So along with Junk, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I would see this stuff in the area. So I was like, I think that was kind of like, oh wow, you know, this stuff that I love, we do this here. I just got to find pockets, right?
Yeah.
So I think that, like, that was my influence. You know, cool, definitely go. But you know, and then it was just I think more. I was a dancer mostly back then. I was writing and, you know, playing around with it. I rhymed in high school pretty seriously, but then I was sneaking out of high school, going into the east side, going to the clubs, and I was dancing, and that's how, you know, I got with House Nation and Tony and Monty and all them. So yeah, I was the youngin'. I was like, you know, fake IDing and all that type of thing, man.
Speaking of Tony, I remember even years, he always spoke highly about you, you know, always. And I've known him all my life, but
yeah,
I'm talking about back in the 90s and stuff, early 90s, he was always Priest. And so I knew the name. It was two names I always knew. I was never into the DC hip hop world, but I always knew the names of Priest Da Nomad, and another name was Storm the Unpredictable. I just knew those two names.
That's how I met Priest, or first heard of him, going to a Storm show. I think for Amalgamation 2.
Oh, for real?
The second one. But I was like, okay, so that's when I first heard your name.
Yeah. Shout out to Storm, man. Yeah, he's on it too. You know, I haven't had him on it.
Yeah.
He was, you know, he was doing a lot of stuff too. Like, he doesn't get enough credit, man, for doing a lot of. And Storm was the one that really pioneered using the internet. He was the groundbreaking on college radio and internet radio when it first kicked off. Storm was all on that, man. And a lot of the times I got to travel was because of him. So
yeah, he was everywhere. Like I was
everywhere, man.
Writing a book. We exchanged like a book and a CD. That's how I met him. It was like other events that didn't have anything to do with either writing or music. But, you know, just that kind of collaboration as you're talking about between people from different arenas. And, you know, we got to make those connections sometimes to keep it moving.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, especially through him being with and Latanya, La Street Promotions and everything. We're doing a lot of stuff. And she did a lot. Yeah, so it's like Storm was really close with her. And, you know, and shout out to Latanya, man. She pioneered a lot of stuff, especially in the street game, street promotions game.
I haven't seen her in years. Wow.
Yeah, man. We stay connected on social media, but I haven't seen her in years, man. Yeah. But those were the influences, man. I think, you know, definitely, you know, that Break is the Light show was hip hop, period. Like, that's how I found out about, you know, Cold Crush and you know what I'm saying, and like Houdini and all of it. I found out about a lot of people through there for hip hop. But then I would hear local cats sometimes on that show and find out, like, oh wow, they from here. And then you just find other people that's doing it, and they're like, oh well, let's go downtown. They be breaking down there, or they be doing this and doing that. And and then you just started meeting people. And then, like I said, me dancing and getting into the clubs, it's just funny because that's how I got so much in the house, because hip hop wasn't rocked in the clubs. When I first, started coming to the clubs didn't play hip hop. It was house and reggae.
Okay.
If it wasn't a go-go, it was house. That's how I met Sam the Man Burns, now Chicago's. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's how I met Sam, because he used to rock Chicago's every Sunday. Steve Solomon used to do that party. And R.I.P. Steve, man. But yeah, so it was like house and reggae. So because I was a dancer, and I could see, the videos. This is like 89, 90, this is everybody. This is like that era, right? So it's hip house. It's a blending between, like Fendi and them. They used to dance for EPMD. They was in the Big Lads, and them. They was in the clubs dancing the house too. So all the hip hop dancers would dance the house. So that's kind of how I really got into it, and was dancing for house artists and stuff. And then hip hop. It wasn't until the Ritz and Howard parties where they started rocking like those DJs because they was New York DJs, Paul Howard and them, and started my man Jamal and you know started rocking, you know, hip hop and stuff. And then later on it was CeeLo. I ran into CeeLo and you know Iron and all those cats. Yeah, you know. So and then you say, oh, I'm meeting dudes from here. That's my tribe. You know, yeah. And but it wasn't too. I was meeting dudes from all types of. I wasn't meeting too many MCs. I was meeting DJs and B-boys. I was meeting other aspects of the culture. It wasn't until U Street and the Freestyle Union is when I met crews of MCs, and I'm just like, Slim, I did not know it was that many dudes here rapping they ass off. Hey, I'm telling you, man, your first entry into the Freestyle Union was a humbling experience, man. Because it was groundbreaking. There was nothing like that. It was nothing, and if you weren't committed to growth and going through those growing pains, if you weren't committed to that, you hated, like you just couldn't deal with it because it was the vulnerability. You had to be vulnerable. You had to basically strip down yourself, you know what I'm saying, and be exposed to get to another level. Right? And we had reading lists. We had to do the artist way, right? We had to do Art of War. We had to do Book of Five Rings. You know, we had reading lists. Khalil Gibran, Prophet. We had, you know, we were doing all of that stuff. And we would debate. We would have, man, Tony would write proverbs. We get proverbs out of the Bible. Here's a proverb, freestyle the meaning of it. And it was like stuff that we was doing like that. Yeah. And so when it came time to just rhyme on some battle shit, it was like, what? That's nothing.
That's working out but building.
Yeah. And so because you didn't want to get exposed, man, I'm reading everything. I'm walking. I had the backpack back then, so I'm walking around with the thesaurus, the dictionary. Like I'm writing vocabulary lists. Like I had vocabulary every time I read the paper every day. Like I was just because it was like it was just information, plus learning a way of thinking, like a lot of Eastern thought, you know, Bhagavad Gita, like all that type of stuff that we were messing with, and just looking at spiritual, because we feel that freestyle and improvisation is spiritual, period. Yeah. I feel like whether it's jazz, whether it's drumming, of course, drumming from us, African, you know what I'm saying? All of that is spiritual. Yeah, well, that's drumming. Yeah. That's drumming.
Even acting, which y'all have done, because that's, you know, all of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I think art is just spiritual, man. And the more that you let yourself go and be vulnerable, the more spiritual you get connected. Spiritually, you get connected with it, right? But it takes that loss of ego. You got to be willing to let go. And that's a contradiction in hip hop, because we move with the ego, but it's like when you study in battle, it's a time and a place, right? A lot of the best martial artists are the most humble and show the most humility, you know, but when it's time to battle, they wax that ass, you know what I'm saying? So that was kind of our whole thought, and like the way that we carry stuff, man, was just like, whatever needs to be done for us to get to that next level. That's just where we were, you know? And if you didn't think like that, a lot of people came to the union and dudes would get mad, because it's just, you know, that you're going to mess up. You're going to mess up. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to stumble. But it's all about learning how to deal with your mistakes, like turn mistakes into a style. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things I do when I freestyle that happened off mistakes. And a lot of times, sometimes I'll buy time to think, because I'm thumping, because I can get melodic, and I can sing, you know, I'll do things like that to, you know, and throw it in between rhymes to give me time to think up another line. Right. Things like that. So it's turning things that were a mistake into a style. Kokai is incredible with that. That's one of the dudes that was when I first came to the Freestyle Union, him, you know, they were traveling with him and Sub Z, a Black Indian, rest in peace. we're traveling with Steve Coleman from the M-Bass Collective, right? Taylor Three Cities, Metrics, Steve Coleman and Metrics, and the whole M-Bass concept. Kate, I'm sure you know about these cats, right? The on the Cassandra was M-Bass was Cassandra Wilson, Steve Coleman, and Greg Osby, right? And then that whole M-Bass idea was making metric-based music. So it was a mathematical way of doing music where each instrument would start off in a different mathematical sequence, and they would just blend and switch time signatures and everything. And those cats, it was originally Black Thought was with them, and some New York dudes, and then Kokai Sub-Z, and then he stripped all of them away. Thought went and did the Roots and all that, and then it became Sub-Z, Black Indian, and they grabbed Black Indian when he was still in high school. And,
shout out to Kokai. He's one of the ones who helped me become a member of the Recording Academy. So
yes. Shout out to Coke, man. Coke is killing it, man. Yeah, he is killing it.
He's he's the one who even put in that push for the Grammys to recognize go-go.
Right. You know? Roots-based music. Yep. Yeah, man. So it's we all from that cloth. And then seeing those dudes do their thing was like, wow. I was like, I got a lot of work to do. But I did the work. You know what I'm saying? And then doing the work and then having my own style, because I had vinyl and stuff out at the time, right? So when they knew about me and brought me to the union, we've been looking for you. You know what I'm saying? I met Sub-Z at a freestyle competition at the State of the Union, when and we were tied. And he was like, "Yo, Priest, he was like, Priest, we were looking for you, man. Come through, So so but those dudes, like, it literally was like, okay, well, I think with me was like, I'm just always been willing to put the work in. So.
Well, thank you. That alarm was telling us that our hour is up. We were telling ourselves like, all right, we're going to enjoy this conversation. Don't let it go, because we could go talk to you for hours at a time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Is there any like parting words? I mean, you've said so much, just even in the last couple of minutes about strengthening.
You answered questions we didn't even get to answer. You answered questions that we ain't got to ask this question. So you're on point with that. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah, man. It's a pleasure, man. It's just always about I think it's just about always trying to show an elevation of things, man, and go past the surface level of things. But because there's so much greatness in this area, man. We're spoiled. We're spoiled, like we're spoiled because we tons of musicians, tons of writers, tons of poets, tons of go-go bands, tons of singers. Like it's and we can tap any that, and we're so rich in Black arts here. It is just that it's just like So I think it's just really making sure that we just don't take certain things for granted. And really make sure that we document things, especially for the youth. So,
yeah, man, we definitely appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to rap with us.
Appreciate y'all having me, man. Definitely.
And we want to wrap it up with another Jonah of yours. You didn't send it, but this Jonah's wicked. Speaking of Kokai and all that. So let me drop this, and then we're just gonna roll on out.
Okay.
That cool?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Peace. Thank you.
Yeah.
1 2 1 2.
You say you wanna go to the top, whatever happens, don't stop. Gotta put the work in, youngin', let's go. Never said it would be easy, so you might fall down today. Get on your knees and pray. Get up and keep it moving. Let's go.
That's right.
We gotta get the money.
We all need it.
Say it one more time, and we gotta get the money. You say
introduction for the kids. My name is unimportant, but the nature of the struggle is. I ain't gotta tell you, my people, they plan on failure. Cause too much melanin, it's like cancer, it'll freaking kill you. But no, we not stopping, no more begging your pardon. No more asking for permission, we just going the hardest. No more marching for the people, praying in church steeples. If you not touching they dollars, then you not affecting they evil. Y'all looking back, we looking past, we dream chasing. You say we wasting our time, thank you, that's motivation. I said that's motivation, make me wanna get it now. Ain't no feeling to this style, especially with these killer vibes. Love, all the way from the county to the district, all the way from that slave thinking to that pyramid. Yeah, we hustle smart, hustle hard. I know the cards are stacked against us, but I'll take them odds, cause I know my God.
You say you wanna go to the top, whatever happens, don't stop. Gotta put the work in your head. Let's go.
Everybody need a little motivation, man.
So,
sing with us.
You might fall down today. Get on your knees and pray. Get up and keep it moving. Let's go. We gotta get the money. Say it one more time. We gotta get the money. You say you wanna go to the top. Whatever happens, don't stop. Gotta put the work in your head. Let's go. You said it would be easy. So, you might fall down today. Get on your knees and pray. Get up and keep it moving. Let's go. We gotta get the money. Let's say it one more time. We gotta get the money. Come on. Don't you ever.
You gotta believe in you, dog. Yeah.
Let's go.
When no one else believes, man. You know what I'm saying?
Now, listen. Who has the time for the blues in this age of lost colors? My eyes, they done. Not seen it coming. These ties, they burn rubber. I'm on. Now to the races, no shackles or lost places right here. I'm keeping straighter on the Joneses, but time I don't waste. So time I need grace. So shine, I lead light. My mind, I'm keeping right. No lapse, I'm keeping lace. These knees, they see and pray. The gifts from on high. I'm going green light till my soul sees sky.